The Empire left its kits unattended. They returned wielding human law. The Rhulorians believed humans were soft, scattered survivors of a dying world, easy to bind under their claws. But in the shadow of a fabricated forest, 3 kits would unravel an Empire's grip with nothing but curiosity and code. The warship sliced through the void, completing its 47 light-day jump into Helios 941's outer orbit. Commander Mara stood on the bridge, her 2.1-meter frame clad in ritual armor etched with 7 eagle symbols, eyes gold and unyielding. She commanded a delegation of 12 elite Rhulorians, their scales gleaming under tactical lights. Strapped in cryopods behind her were the 3 kits, Viri, Kade, and Umber, symbols of ancient trust, left behind as per tradition to seal alliances. Mara viewed this as routine dominance. Humans, after all, held only this fringe colony. Arbor sprawled below, 85% artificial bioforest masking a population of 2.5 million. Governor Era Solano, 45, with black hair tied back in a practical knot, had governed for 5 years, coordinating 3 prior interstellar pacts. She waited at the landing pad with her team of 8, including Jun Park, a lean 28-year-old engineer whose hands were perpetually oil-stained, and Amma Savan, a 52-year-old scholar in white robes and AR glasses. Thomas Vale, 50, a scarred ex-soldier with a gravel voice, handled security, his old wounds a reminder of past skirmishes. Mara descended the ramp first, her steel-blue skin reflecting the artificial sun. "Governor Solano," she intoned, voice like grinding metal, "the Rhulorian Empire extends the Concordat's embrace. Accept and thrive under our protection." She presented the treaty document, 150 pages on biopaper, outlining subjugation masked as partnership. The kits followed. Viri, 1 meter tall with silver-gray scales and bright eyes. Kade, slender with copper sheen. Umber, broad-shouldered in jade tones. Mara gestured to them. "These kits remain for 72 hours, a binding symbol. Care for them as your own, or the pack fractures." Era nodded, her simple admin uniform crisp. "We welcome the gesture, Commander. Arbor honors all rights." Viri tilted his head, sniffing the air. "This forest smells built, not like Holmes' caves, wet and alive." His question hung, innocent yet probing, as the group moved toward the pad's edge. Mara ignored it, focusing on Era. "Our empire claims 14 systems. Your colony joins as the 15th, protected but obedient." Tomas Vale scanned the kits, his shoulder scar twitching. "Keep formation," he muttered to his team. "These aren't pets." Umber watched local fauna, engineered birds fluttering in controlled patterns, his calm demeanor a shield for the younger ones. As the delegation split, Mara and Era entered negotiations in a sealed dome, holograms projecting Empire fleets. Mara leaned forward, claws tapping. "Humans adapt well, but under Rhulorian law, you yield sovereignty." Meanwhile, the kits were handed to the Arbor team. Jun Park crouched, grinning. "Hey, little ones, ever seen a hologram projector?" He activated a basic unit, light-forming shapes. Kade's eyes narrowed, analyzing. In 10 minutes, she replicated the structure, twisting light into a simple grid. "Your tech bends easily, like our laws, flexible, but unbreakable." Viri laughed, mimicking with sound waves, while Umber stood guard, absorbing the humans' disciplined movements. Mara monitored via comlink from the dome, dismissing the kit's antics as childish. "They learn fast, but remain ours." Yet Viri already parsed environmental sigils, Arbor's data streams whispering in the air, his curiosity igniting instincts she underestimated. Era, sensing the shift, smiled faintly. "Your kits are sharp, they'll fit right in." The pad bustled as shuttles unloaded gear. Mara outlined clauses, resource tributes, tech shares. "Refuse and our 300-ship fleet enforces," Era countered calmly. "We seek equity, not chains." Tomas positioned guards, eyeing Umber's quiet strength. "Reminds me of green recruits, full of potential." Jun demonstrated more, a robot guide rolling up, projecting 3D maps. Viri shaped an eagle in 5 minutes, earning chuckles. "Like your armor," he said to a Rhulorian guard who stiffened. Amma began basic lessons, a hologram illustrating 10 concordant tenets. Kade questioned, ownership of collective memory? Humans store it openly? The group settled into rhythm, kits exploring under watch. Mara viewed it as protocol, but the absorption began. Kits decoding human resilience, a foundation for reversal. Era whispered to June, they're more than symbols. Watch how they adapt. As evening artificial lights dimmed, Viri asked Era, if we stay, who protects whom? She knelt. Care means shielding all, even from empires. Mara, overhearing via link, growled, they choose Rhulorians only. But Umber's gaze lingered on Thomas, sharing war tales silently. The pact's ink dried, yet seeds of twist sprouted in fabricated soil. The delegation retired to quarters, Mara confident in dominance. Humans, she thought, were efficient but fragile. Deathworlders in name only. Yet Kit's eyes glowed with ingested data, human efficiency seeping in. Thomas patrolled, muttering, these aliens think we're weak. Wait till they see our backbone. Jun tinkered, Kade assisting logically. Your machines think like treaties, layers of code. Era reviewed the 150-page tome, spotting loopholes. Ancient rites bind both ways. Viri in his bunk hummed absorbed sigils. The 72-hour clock ticked, routine masking the brew. Mara slept soundly, empire unchallenged. But in Arbor's core, Kit synced with human ethos, curiosity over conquest, setting the stage for upheaval. The next dawn, Era led the Kits deeper. Mara joined briefly, asserting, remember your blood. Umber replied softly, blood flows, but truth binds. We knew him. The commander's pride blinded her to the shift, humans' subtle strength, turning pact into parody. The delegation's shuttle hummed as it ferried the Kits to Arbor's central habitat, a 300-meter tower of stacked eco-layers, each pulsing with artificial life. Era led the way, her steps brisk, guiding Viri, Kade, and Umber through a translucent corridor alive with data streams. Viri's silver-gray scales shimmered under shifting lights, his eyes darting. This air system, he chirped, it's dry, not like our caves at 60% humidity. He fired off 25 questions, vents, filters, power flow, each answered by Era's calm nods, her admin uniform crisp against the organic walls. Kade, copper scales glinting, scanned Era's attire. Anti-rad fabric, 500-year durability, she noted, voice sharp. Human clothes hide strength in plain weave. Her logic dissected everything, from panel seams to Era's measured tone. Umber, jade scales broad and steady, flanked his siblings, his silence a shield. He caught Thomas Vale's eye, the ex-soldier's scarred shoulder tensing as they traded nods. Discipline, Umber murmured, echoing Thomas's 20 years of war stories. Binds us across species. June Park, oil-stained hands fidgeting, rolled up a robot guide. Its projector spun, casting a 3D eagle that Viri mimicked in 5 minutes, his sound waves warping light. Like your home's sigils, he grinned, unaware his knack hinted at deeper instincts. Amma Savan, white robes flowing, activated a hologram lesson, 10 concordant tenets glowing in midair. Law unites the galaxy, she said, her AR glasses flashing translations. Kade's questions cut deeper. Who owns shared memory? Humans give it freely. Outside, 50 Arbor children gathered, drawn by the Kit's game. They wove Rhulorian rites into soundscapes, Viri's chirps syncing with human laughter. The habitat's eco-layers hummed, each floor a microclimate, feeding data the Kits absorbed like air. Mara watched via comlink from her negotiation dome, her claws tapping. Our fleet of 300 ships ensures compliance, she told her aides, pride masking unease at the Kits' rapid bonding. Era assigned the Kits rooms scaled to their size, Viri bouncing on a biofoam bed, Kade analyzing its weave, and Umber standing watch. Thomas patrolled nearby, muttering, they're quick, like recruits before a firefight. Jun showed them more tech, a wrist projector casting maps. Kade rebuilt its logic in 10 minutes, her scales glinting with focus. Your tools are treaties, layers of intent. Viri laughed, shaping a star field. while Umber studied human guards, their precise steps mirroring his own. Amma's lesson continued, her voice steady. The concordat binds through mutual obligation. Viri tilted his head. Obligation means care? Era smiled, kneeling. It means shielding the weak, even from empires. Mara's calm crackled, her voice sharp. They remain Rhulorian, no other allegiance. Umber met her gaze through the feed, calm. We learn from those who listen. The habitat buzzed, its artificial forest whispering data. Arbor's annual festival, with 1,000 memory holograms, loomed, and the kit's games drew crowds. Kade questioned ownership again. If memories are shared, who claims the truth? Amma adjusted her glasses. Truth belongs to those who build it. The kit's play wove Rhulorian chants with human rhythms, a hybrid the humans mistook for innocence. Thomas shared a war tale with Umber, his gravelly voice low. 50 years ago, Arbor fought off raiders. Discipline held us. Umber nodded, jade scales steady. Our laws bind through trust, not force. The exchange built a bridge, human resilience resonating with Rhulorian honor. June, tinkering nearby, grinned at Viri's antics. Kid's a natural with projectors. Viri chirped, crafting a hummingbird, its wings a blur of light. Mara's pride wavered as she watched. They're too close, she told her second, claws flexing. The Empire's will holds. Yet the kits absorbed more. Human efficiency, subtle defiance. Era noticed, her smile tight. They're learning our ways fast. She led them to a garden level, vines pulsing with biolights. Viri ran ahead, scales catching green glows, asking about nutrient flows. Kade mapped the system mentally, her logic unyielding. Umber lingered, watching Era's care, his thoughts on trust deepening. The day ended with the kits in their rooms, Viri humming sigils, Kade dissecting data, and Umber reflecting on Thomas's tales. Mara, in her dome, reviewed the treaty. Its 150 pages of change she thought unbreakable. Humans are tools, she muttered, unaware the kit's instinct stirred, syncing with Arbor's pulse. Era, checking on them, whispered to Thomas, they're more than symbols. They're rewriting the rules. As night fell, the habitat's lights dimmed, mimicking a planetary cycle. Viri's questions echoed in Era's mind. Kade's logic sharpened, and Umber's calm held firm. The 72-hour rite ticked on, each moment weaving human and Rhulorian threads tighter. Mara slept, confident in control. But the kit's play was no game. Their absorbed sigils, human defiance, and ancient laws coiled, ready to snap the Empire's leash. Era guided the kits from the habitat's lower levels to the memory theater, a 200-meter sphere of seamless alloy, its surface etched with glowing sigils from 5,000 interspecies tales. After a meal tuned to 70% Rhulorian nutrition, blended proteins mimicking cave fungi, the group entered through irising doors. Viri bounded ahead, silver scales catching the internal glow, his bright eyes widening as the first hologram activated. A swirling nebula of shared histories. The projection hummed to life, and Viri froze, eyes sparkling. Resonance hit him first, waves of data syncing with his innate receptors. In 3 minutes, he absorbed 15 language sigils, chirping them back in perfect mimicry. This sings, he said, voice echoing in the chamber. Era watched, her tied-back hair framing a cautious expression. It's our collective archive. Stories bind us. Kade stepped forward, copper scales alert, dissecting the hologram's framework. Layers like our 1,200 clause laws, she noted, her logic slicing through. With Jun Park's help, she turned it into a sigil game, twisting light into contractual forms. Jun, oil-smeared, grinned. You're turning code into play. Impressive. Kade nodded sharply. Play reveals structure. Break it. Rebuild stronger. Umber lingered at a war chronicle projection, jade scales steady as he absorbed human tales of endurance. Your conflicts echo ours, he murmured to Thomas Vale, who stood guard, scar twitching. Thomas grunted. 50 years of raids here. We held through grit. Umber shared a Rhulorian memory, clans clashing over barren rocks, building ethical common ground. Protection isn't conquest, it's shared scars. Amma Savan led the session, her AR glasses flashing as she translated 50 legal phrases. Protection clauses ensure equity, she explained, white robes swaying. The kits fired 40 questions, Viri on bindings, Kade on loopholes, Umber on ethics. Does protection mean owning the protected? Viri asked, tilting his head. Amma adjusted her glasses. It means guardianship, not chains. Interactions sparked as the kits rebuilt small holograms. Viri wove sound into ancient rites, his chirps forming ethereal shapes that drew 100 Arbor locals. Whispers spread, curious aliens turning tech into art. Jun tweaked projectors, his quick hands syncing with Kade's commands. "You're a mini-lawyer," he said to her. Kade's eyes sharpened. "Laws are puzzles. Humans solve them oddly, with heart." Mara observed from her negotiation dome, hologram feed crackling. Pride warred with worry as she saw the kits bond. "They're drifting," she told her aides, claws flexing. "Violate ancient laws and the empire crumbles." Discussions turned to risks, kits activating dormant rights, the empire's dominance at stake. Her gold eyes narrowed. "Pull them back if needed." The theater's tech hummed on 90% solar power from Helios 941, panels absorbing the star's glare. Jun explained mechanisms. Quantum buffers store memories, lossless. Kade internalized it, her mind framing it as legal precedent. Like clauses, energy in, binding out. Viri danced through projections, absorbing more, while Umber pondered deeper truths with Thomas. Era smiled uneasily as Viri questioned, "This gives rights over worlds?" She knelt. "No, little one. Care overrides empires." Her words hinted at guardianship, a role she never sought but now loomed. The kit's instincts stirred, absorption turning to activation, humans seeing only play, but Umber sensed law's depth. "Truth listens," he whispered to his siblings. Crowds grew, holograms flickering with hybrid tales. Mara intervened via comm. "Focus on Rhulorian ways." Viri ignored, syncing sounds with human rhythms. Kade debated clauses with Amma, her logic exposing symmetries. "Your laws flex where ours rigidify." Thomas shared more war lore, Umber nodding. "Humans endure. That's power." The session stretched, kits delving deeper. Era coordinated, her admin uniform a constant amid chaos. Jun fine-tuned, oil hands blurring. They're naturals. But beneath, instincts activated, sigils embedding, ancient codes awakening. Mara paced her dome, the Empire's fleet a distant threat. "They must choose us." Umber's calm gaze through the feed challenged. "Choice binds truer." As projections dimmed, Viri hummed learned sigils. Kade mapped legal grids, and Umber reflected on shared ethics. The theater's sphere pulsed, a nexus of change. Era led them out, whispering to Thomas, "They're unlocking something big." The 72-hour rite advanced, kit's curiosity forging unintended alliances, human resilience quietly outmatching Rhulorian might. The memory theater pulsed with light, its 200-meter sphere alive with holograms weaving 20 core clauses of the Concordat. Amma Savan stood at the center, her white robes stark against glowing sigils, her AR glasses cycling legal texts at a rate of 300 glyphs per minute. The kits Viri, Kade, and Umber sat cross-legged on a bioplatform, their scales humming as they absorbed data 3 times faster than any human child. Viri, silver gray and restless, locked onto sound waves first, his small claws tapping rhythmically. He crafted a melody from the protection clause, notes sharp and cyclical, mimicking the law's cadence. "This binds shield," he chirped, replaying it in layered harmonics that echoed through the chamber. Era knelt beside him, her black hair tied tight, admin uniform crisp. "Care outranks empires, Viri. It's standing firm against any threat, no matter how vast." Viri tilted his head, scales catching the light. "Even against you?" His question, sharp yet innocent, hung in the air. Kade, copper sheen glinting, seized the moment, her logic dissecting the treaty's structure. "It's like our 1 in 200 clause codes," she said, voice precise. She turned the terms into a sigil game, 10 levels of escalating complexity, each a puzzle of light and intent. Jun Park, oil-stained hands darting, materialized her designs with a projector, grinning. Level 1, simple bonds. Level 10, full galactic enforcement. Kade's eyes narrowed, her mind slicing through. Humans flex where we rigidify. Your laws bend to fit. Umber, jade scales broad and steady, stood apart, his gaze on a hologram of Arbor's 50-year war against raiders. He spoke low to Thomas Vale, whose scarred shoulder twitched under his guard uniform. Your discipline held the line, Umber said, his voice a calm anchor. Thomas grunted, gravel voice rough. Raiders hit hard. We survived on grit. Protect the core, always. Umber nodded, sharing a Rhulorian tale of clans warring over barren rocks. Our laws demand guardianship, not glory. Conquest fails without trust. Their exchange wove human resilience with Rhulorian honor, a quiet bridge forming. Era guided the session, her experience from 3 prior pacts grounding her words. Interstellar law twists like Arbor's vines, pulls wrong, it snaps. The kits unleashed 30 questions. Viri on binding mechanics, Kade on precedent gaps, Umber on ethical weights. Does equity void dominance? Kade pressed, her copper scales alert. Amma adjusted her glasses, voice steady. It balances scales, not breaks them. Holograms shifted, blending Rhulorian eagle rights, 7 symbols soaring in light, with Arbor's quantum displays, a myth-punk fusion of ancient and cutting edge. Viri's mischief flared mid-session. He warped a hologram into a comical beast, claws flailing in absurd loops, tail spinning wildly. The theater erupted in laughter, Jun's chuckle loudest as he slapped his knee. Kid's got flair! Umber pulled Viri close, his broad frame a shield, jade eyes softening. Play teaches, he murmured, the embrace warm amid the glow. The moment mixed humor with heart. Humans saw innocence. Unaware the kits embedded deeper codes, sigils of law syncing with their instincts. Mara's hologram flickered in, her steel blue face stern, gold eyes blazing. No choosing outsiders, she growled, voice like grinding alloy. Rhulorians only. Viri glanced at Era, ignoring the feed. She listens better. Kade continued her game, her 10-level puzzle now a hybrid of human and Rhulorian logic. Umber met Mara's gaze through the projection. Truth chooses freely. Mara's pride cracked, her decisive mind grappling with the kit's shift. In her negotiation dome, she paced, claws scraping biometal. They're evolving beyond control, she told her aides, her 300-ship fleet a distant threat. If they stray, the Empire risks fracture. The theater's tech pulsed, its 90% solar feed from Helios 941 fueling seamless projections. Jun explained, quantum buffers hold memories lossless. Kade internalized it, framing it as legal precedent. Energy in, bindings out, like clauses. Viri danced through holograms, his chirps weaving rights into human rhythms, drawing 100 onlookers. Amma continued, her AR glasses flashing, 50 more legal phrases. Protection clauses ensure mutual gain, she said. Viri asked, care means owning the protected? Era knelt again, voice firm. No, it's shielding them, even from empires. Thomas shared tactics with Umber, his voice low. Flank and hold. Core stays safe. Umber replied, our ethics mirror, trust over force. The kit's absorption deepened, Viri humming full melodies, Kade mapping enforcements, Umber weighing doctrines. The storytelling session loomed, their instincts priming for a twist, human empathy outpacing Rhulorian might. Jun tweaked emitters, boosting clarity. Old rights, new tech, he said. Kade nodded. Humans innovate where empires stagnate. Mara's internal storm grew. Force them back, an aide urged. She hesitated, gold eyes flickering. Laws bind us too. Era coordinated breaks, her smile masking foresight. They're ready for more. Viri tugged her sleeve. Care wins wars. She nodded. Always. The 72-hour right pressed on, each clause a step toward upheaval. The kit's play, Viri's tunes, Kade's puzzles, and Umber's ethics mask the unraveling of Mara's empire. Human efficiency, a silent blade. As the session closed, the kit stood amid fading holograms, their scales alive with absorbed data. Era whispered to Thomas, "They're unlocking something massive." Mara watched, her pride battling truth, the Empire's shadow stretching thin. The theater's glow dimmed, but the kit's instincts burned, ready to reshape the pact. The memory theater's glow lingered as the kits moved to an open plaza, a 50-meter expanse of bioturf ringed by Arbor's artificial vines. Hologram projectors hummed, casting light that danced across Viri's silver-gray scales. He led, chirping a sequence that reshaped 15 treaty clauses into a 5-meter-tall sound and light model, its patterns sharp and cyclical. A crowd of 200 Arbor locals gathered, their murmurs blending with the hum of quantum buffers. Jun Park, hands slick with oil, adjusted emitters, grinning at Viri's flare. "You're turning law into art, kid." Viri's eyes sparkled, his small frame bouncing. "This Rang Buok song, it sings life?" he asked Amma Savan, who stood nearby, her white robes catching the glow. Amma's AR glasses flickered, translating his term. "It's a living bond, Viri. Law that breathes." Kade, copper scales glinting, dissected the clauses further, her logic razor sharp. She spotted a flaw in the Concordate's old terms, reciprocity gaps that favored Rhulorian dominance. 5 new points, she declared, sketching fixes in light. Equity over control. Jun nodded, materializing her edits into glowing grids. "You're rewriting galactic law like it's code." Umber, jade scales broad, stood protective, his gaze on Era. He shared a memory, Rhulorian clans shielding young during storms. "Care builds strength," he said, voice low. Era, her admin uniform crisp, responded with a tale of Arbor's founding, her voice steady. "We rebuilt after raiders, not with weapons, but trust." Their bond deepened, her care mirroring his instincts. Viri darted to her side, hugging her leg, his chirps playful. "You're like cavekin," Kade smirked, teasing Jun. "He's slow with projectors." Jun laughed, tossing a tool. "Says the mini-lawyer." Thomas Vale joined, his scarred shoulder tense as he led the kits in a protection drill. 10 lessons, he grunted. "Guard the core. Hold the line." His gravelly voice echoed 20 years of war, resonating with Umber's calm. "Discipline binds us," Umber replied, mirroring Thomas's stance. The drill wove human tactics with Rhulorian rights, the kits sinking effortlessly, their scales humming with absorbed data. The crowd grew, locals whispering of the kit's uncanny skill. Mara watched via comlink from her dome, claws tapping biometal. Her pride frayed as she saw the kit's loyalty shift. "If they choose humans," she told her aides, "our empire risks exile." The Concordate, spanning 1,000 years, made Arbor its 47th human colony, a minor prize, she thought. Now doubt gnawed. "They're too close," she growled, gold eyes narrowing. Her 300-ship fleet loomed in her mind, a threat she held back, bound by ancient laws. Era's care shone, her actions maternal yet firm. She knelt, adjusting Viri's projector, her touch steady. "You're building bridges," Viri chirped, scales flashing. Kade's logic tightened the clauses, her fixes closing loopholes that Mara's empire exploited. "Humans see gaps we miss," she said to Amma, who nodded. "Your instincts align with our law's heart." Umber, watching Era, sensed her as a guardian, his ethics aligning with her resolve. The plaza buzzed, its vines pulsing with biolights, a microcosm of Arbor's engineered life. Jun fine-tuned tech, his quick hands syncing with Kade's commands. "Your games are treaties," he said. Kade's eyes gleamed. "Treaties are games, won by balance." Viri wove sound into light, his model now a hybrid of Rhulorian chants and human rhythms, drawing gasps from the crowd. Thomas drilled harder, his lessons embedding trust. "Protect, don't conquer," he told Umber, who nodded. "Care outlasts force." Mara's hologram flickered in, her voice sharp. "Stay true to Rhulorian blood." Kade ignored her logic, locked on equity. Umber met the feed's gaze. Blood flows, but trust binds. Era, guiding the kits, felt tension rise. They're choosing their path, she whispered to Tomas, who grunted. Let's hope it's ours. The kit's instincts deepened, their play a facade for ancient codes stirring, human empathy outmatching Rhulorian might. As dusk fell, the plaza's lights dimmed, mimicking a planetary cycle. Viri hummed clauses, Kade mapped fixes, and Umber reflected on trust. Era coordinated, her smile masking foresight. They're ready for the big stage. Mara paced her dome, the treaties 150 pages a chain she thought secure. But the kit's absorption, sigils, ethics, and human grit coiled tighter, ready to snap her empire's grip. The 72-hour rite ticked on, each moment a step toward upheaval. The plaza's lights faded as the kits shifted to the Memory Theater's core chamber, a vaulted space prepped for the session with 500 seats for interspecies guests, humans, Rhulorians, and scattered envoys from Concordat fringes. Hologram rigs hummed, calibrated for a 30-minute narrative weave. Viri bounded ahead, silver scales flashing, seizing the audio controls. He tuned the rights to 440 hertz, a baseline frequency that resonated with Rhulorian chants, his chirps curious and probing. This pitch binds echoes, he said, testing waves that rippled light. Kade, copperform alert, dove into content structure, her logic integrating 25 clauses into the tail's spine. Layer them like grids, she instructed, her voice sharp. Amma Savan stood beside, AR glasses syncing data. Start with equity. Build to bonds. Kade nodded, mapping terms into narrative arcs, protection as plot, reciprocity as twist. Humans add heart to code, she noted, her fixes from the plaza enhancing the flow. Ama adjusted projections, white robes swaying. Your insight sharpens it. Umber, jade scale steady, handled ethics, his philosophy weaving into human history. Our laws echo your endurance, he told Thomas Vale, who leaned against a console, scarred shoulder tense. Tomas grunted. Arbor's raids taught us, protect the weak, hold the line. Umber shared a Rhulorian doctrine, clans yielding for the young, building mutual respect. Care trumps conquest. Their discussion grounded the session's moral core, human grit aligning with Rhulorian honor. Era orchestrated, her admin uniform a constant amid chaos, her worry veiled by support. Draw from my 10 prior pacts, she advised, voice firm. Law lives in stories. She coordinated cues, her black hair tied back, eyes scanning rigs. Viri tugged her sleeve. You make it real. Her smile tightened, sensing the shift. The kits viewing her as an anchor. Rehearsals intensified, kits sinking in a blaze of effects. Viri's audio waves clashed with Kade's grids, birthing light bursts that cracked air like thunder. Jun Park darted between consoles, oil hands fine-tuning emitters. Boost the quantum feed, make it pop. Projections exploded in color, sigils dancing, the chamber shaking with simulated force. Too much? Viri chirped, eyes wide. Kade adjusted. Balance it. Law demands precision. Mara arrived in person, her 2.1-meter frame striding through the entrance. Ritual armor etched with 7 eagles. Pride radiated, but warnings laced her words. Choose wisely, she growled, voice grinding. Rhulorians lead. She loomed over the kits, gold eyes piercing. Umber met her gaze. Choice follows truth. Viri ignored, tuning higher, while Kade wove clauses tighter. Mara's claws flexed. Defy, and the Empire enforces. The setup fused mythpunk, ancient Rhulorian rites, eagle symbols lapping in holographic fire, meshed with Arbor's tech, quantum edges punk sharp. Projections cast 7 eagles soaring through starfields, light punked with glitch effects. Jun grinned. Old gods meet new code. Kade's logic stabilized it, her 25 clauses embedded like hidden weapons. Bonds tightened, kits orbiting Era. Viri hummed to her. You listen deepest. Kade shared a clause fix. Your ways strengthen ours. Umber nodded. She's the guardian. Era's coordination deepened their trust, her care a silent draw. Tomas watched, muttering to Jun. They're picking sides. Jun tweaked a rig. Human sides. Mara paced the chamber's edge, her presence a storm. Our fleet waits, she told aides via comm. If they stray, pull back. But rehearsals revealed cracks, Kit's instincts overriding Empire scripts. Viri's 440 Hz waves synced with human rhythms. Kade's integrations exposing Rhulorian flaws. Umber's ethics questioned dominance. Law serves all, he said to Thomas, who agreed. Or it breaks. Era called a break, her voice cutting through hums. Refine the close. Equity wins. Viri practiced bursts, light flaring. Kade debated with Amma. Clause 15. Protection voids tyranny. Umber pondered with Thomas. Humans teach that. Mara's warnings echoed, her pride clashing with doubt. They must choose us, she growled to Era. Era met her eyes. Choice is theirs. The chamber pulsed, myth-punk visuals ready. Eagles punked with neon veins, clauses glowing like runes. Jun finalized tech. It's primed. Kits rehearsed full. Effects building tension, light storms, and audio riffs. Viri led sound, Kade content, and Umber ethics. Era supported, her 10-pack wisdom guiding. Make it bind. Mara intervened again, claws on a console. No human twists, Kade countered. Twists reveal truth, Umber added. We choose listeners. Viri chirped in agreement. Bonds solidified. The Kit's view of Era as a guardian hints at the twist. Law's power rising through care, not claws. As prep wound down, the 500 seats filled in simulation. Mara retreated, gold eyes stormy. Empire holds. But Kit's synergy, Viri's curiosity, Kade's logic, Umber's depth, coiled for release. Human ethos amplifying ancient codes. Era whispered to the group. This changes everything. The session loomed. Law's strength poised to eclipse Empire might. The memory theater pulsed with raw energy. Its 200-meter sphere packed with 500 interspecies guests, humans in sleek admin gear, Rhulorians in scaled armor glinting under artificial starlight, and envoys from Concordat's fringes, their implants scanning the air. Quantum rigs roared to life, igniting a colossal hologram that spanned the chamber, neon myth-punk sigils erupting in jagged bursts of light and sound. The air crackled, charged with anticipation as the Kits took the stage. Viri, silver-gray scales ablaze, stepped forward first, his small frame vibrating with purpose. We are the living cores, he declared, his chirp slicing through the hum like a blade. The words detonated, a revelation that stunned the crowd. Gasps rippling through the seats. The Kits weren't mere young. They were biolegal entities, vessels of ancient law, coded to bind or break pacts across millennia. Viri's voice amplified, his 440 Hz waves syncing with the hologram's core, triggering neural links that flared like supernovae. Bindings activated in a cascade of light, overriding Rhulorian dominance clauses with surgical precision. Holograms glitched, Empire sigils fracturing into pixelated shards as the Kit's innate codes rewrote the Concordance framework. Rhulorian delegates froze, scales bristling. Impossible, hissed a captain, claws twitching. Viri stood unshaken, his 1-meter form channeling 1,500 years of biolaw, nullifying the Empire's grip over 14 systems. The crowd leaned forward, human locals whispering, envoys recalibrating implants to log the upset. The theater quaked, light storms simulating a galactic rift, each pulse a testament to the Kit's hidden power. Kade moved next, copper scales catching jagged light, her logic a scalpel dissecting the fallout. Clause 7, etched in ancient core, she stated, voice cold and precise. Self-choice voids dominance, 1,500 years of precedent. Her projections rebuilt terms in real time, glowing grids exposing Rhulorian overreach as flawed code. Loopholes Mara had ignored, reciprocity gaps, and enforcement biases flashed in stark relief, each a chink in the Empire's armor. Kade's hands danced, manipulating light into legal frameworks, her 10-level game from earlier now a weaponized treatise. Jun Park in the tech booth amplified her display, oil-smeared hands locking quantum feeds. She's turning their own laws against them, he muttered, grinning. Human efficiency, adaptable, relentless, flipped alien dominance into a trap. Umber sealed the twist, his jade scales unmoving, a pillar of calm amid chaos. "We choose our guardian," he said, voice low but resonant, eyes locking on Era Solano. "The one who listened." Silence crashed over the theater, his words triggering the final bind. Power shifting to Era, the Empire's claws blunted in an instant. Era, center stage in her crisp admin uniform, froze. Black hair tied tight, her face etched with shock. Her smile faltered, worry flashing, but she stepped forward. "I accept," she said, voice steady despite the weight. The crowd erupted in murmurs, envoys scrambling to record, Rhulorians reeling. Humans, dismissed as deathworlders, now held the galactic leash, a plot twist no alien foresaw. Mara surged from her seat, her 2.1-meter frame towering, ritual armor's 7 eagles glinting like knives. "No!" she roared, voice grinding like alloy on stone. "They're Rhulorian blood! Seize them!" Her claws snapped out, gold eyes blazing with fury, her delegation rising in a wave of scaled menace. Tension coiled, the air thick with threat. Coup the kits, shatter the right, reclaim control. Guests shielded their eyes, some half standing, others frozen. Mara's threat loomed like a warship's shadow, her 300-ship fleet a distant hammer ready to fall. The chamber's light storms intensified, holograms fracturing into chaotic bursts, audio waves crashing in bone-rattling echoes. Thomas Vale reacted instantly, his scarred form cutting through the crowd, gravel voice barking orders. "Form up! Hold the line!" Arbor guards snapped into position, stunners humming, their disciplined wall a testament to 20 years of war-hardened grit. "Back off, Commander," Thomas growled, shoulder scar twitching. "Law's clear. Force breaks you." His tactical precision, flanks covered, angles secured, locked the chamber down. Human resolve a silent blade against Rhulorian might. Jun darted between consoles, locking rigs to block overrides. "Tech's ours," he hissed, hands blurring, ensuring Mara's team couldn't hijack the holograms. The theater shook, projections simulating a galactic schism, 7 eagles splintering in punk-glitched fire, quantum feeds overloading with binding visuals. Sigils exploded, clauses rewritten in light, each pulse a death knell for Empire dominance. The crowd gasped, Envoy's implants sparking as they logged the upheaval. The kits stood firm. Viri's chirps a defiant anthem, Kade's grids a legal guillotine, Umber's calm a moral anchor. Era, now guardian, met Mara's glare, her voice cutting through chaos. "Equity binds us all, not chains." Mara halted mid-stride, claws trembling, her decisive mind crunching costs. "Take them!" an aide urged. "Fleet's ready." But Mara's gold eyes flickered, violating the right, and the Concordate's 1,000-year web would exile her empire. Pride warred with logic, her armor's eagles seeming to dim. "The choice stands," she grated, voice tight, claws retracting. The concession was a quiet cataclysm, empire yielding to law's deeper truth. Guests murmured, some awed, others stunned, humans flipping galactic power with care, not cannons. Holograms stabilized, new grids forming around Era, her role as guardian cemented in light and code. The era shifted, human empathy outmatching Rhulorian force. A revolution understated yet seismic. Viri chirped triumphantly, his small frame alight. Kade nodded, logic's victory etched in her stance. Umber stood serene, jade scales steady. The crowd exhaled, tension breaking into awe. Deathworlders rewriting the stars. Mara retreated to her seat, pride bent but unbroken, her empire's shadow shrinking as eras rose. The Memory Theater's light storm settled, its 200-meter sphere now bathed in steady warm glows from stabilized holograms. The 500 interspecies guests, humans, Rhulorians, and concordant envoys, sat in hushed awe, their murmurs a soft hum against the fading echoes of the kit's revelation. Mara stood at the chamber's edge, her 2.1-meter frame rigid, ritual armor's 7 eagles dulled under the new light. Her gold eyes locked on Era Solano, now guardian, and she spoke, voice grinding but resolute. The choice stands. Era Solano is a guardian. The concession rippled, a quiet fracture in the Rhulorian Empire's iron grip, cementing a new era where human care trumped alien might. Viri bounded forward, silver scales flashing, his chirp bright with relief. He hugged Era's leg, small claws gentle. "You're cavekin now." Kade, copper sheen sharp, analyzed the shift with a nod. Equity clauses balance power. Humans proved it. Her logic, once playful, now carried weight, her grids etched in the hologram's final display. Umber, jade scales steady, spoke low. "Care outlasts clause. Law binds through trust." His calm sealed their bond, his ethics now a bridge between species. Era knelt, her admin uniform creased, her black hair still tied tight. "I'll protect you," she said, voice firm, her role as guardian no longer a surprise but a mantle she wore with resolve. The theater erupted in applause. 1,000 hands, human, scaled, clawed, clapping in unison as the final hologram flared. A hybrid eagle, half Rhulorian, half Arbor's biolite vines, soaring through a starfield. The festival closed, its mythpunk visuals blending ancient rites with human tech, a symbol of co-dominion. Jun Park, oil-stained hands still, grinned from the tech booth. "We rewrote the stars." Thomas Vale, scarred shoulder relaxed, nodded. Discipline held. They chose right. His 20 years of war scars now marked a victory of ethics over force. Era coordinated the aftermath, her commands crisp. "Log the bindings. Arbor's central now." The colony, once the Concordate's 47th human outpost, saw its population projected to surge 20%, its forests a beacon for new envoys. Mara approached, claws retracted, pride tempered. "We'll honor the pact," she said, voice low. "Co-dominion, not conquest." She turned, her delegation following, their exit a silent promise of cooperation. The 300-ship fleet, once a threat, now idles in orbit, bound by law's deeper truth. The kits clustered around Era, their scales humming with absorbed sigils. Viri's playfulness matured into purpose, his chirps now anthems of unity. Kade's logic, once a game, now shapes galactic precedent. Her fixes are embedded in concordate code. Umber's calm, once protective, now carries wisdom, his ethics a cornerstone for the new era. Tomas shared a nod with Umber, their war stories now shared doctrine. "You're tougher than you look," he grunted. Umber replied, "So are humans." Era led the kits to the plaza, its bio-turf glowing under artificial dusk. The crowd dispersed, but bonds held, human and Rhulorian, law and care. Jun tinkered nearby, his projector casting a final eagle, punk-edged with neon veins. "This sticks," he said. Kade smirked. "Like good code." The kit's growth was stark. Viri, once curious, now sparked revolutions. Kade, once analytical, now forged treaties. Umber, once a shield, now a sage. Era's care had transformed them, her resilience a mirror for their own. As the 72-hour rite closed, Arbor stood transformed, a concordate hub, its forests pulsing with promise. Mara boarded her shuttle, her pride reshaped, no longer blind to human strength. "We'll meet again," she told Era via comm, her tone steady. Era nodded, her smile warm but firm. "As equals." The kits stood by her, their scales a testament to change, human empathy outmatching empire might, a quiet upheaval that rewrote the stars. Era gathered the kits under the plaza's vines, their glow casting soft shadows. She spoke, her voice low, carrying the weight of their journey. "We didn't win by fighting. We won by listening, by caring, by building trust where claws would have torn us apart. Law isn't chains, it's a promise to protect, to lift each other, even when empires demand we kneel. You chose me, but I choose you too, every day to stand for something bigger than us all." Her words hung, a creed for the new era, human heart-binding alien law, a legacy etched in light and trust.